Welcome members, this is Brandon Judd responding to a video analysis request uploaded by user pimmy42, and this is on a backroll attempt. And here in the description it looks like you've been working on this trick for a little while and are getting close but can't quite seem to land it yet. And honestly, after watching this video, this is really good. Your attempt is right on track, but there are two small things to fix. And I think that they're going to be pretty simple fixes for you as long as you're aware of them and able to work on them. I think you'll be able to fix them pretty quick. So the two things are, first, your body position at the wake, and then the second thing is your approach, kind of the timing of that. So we're going to clean that approach up a little bit, and we're also going to fix this body position at the wake. And I'm going to start out with the body position of the wake right now. So if we look at the angle of your body, so your board is still probably 20% in the water here, and the angle of your body is pretty extreme. It looks like you're really trying to flip really fast on this one, almost like you're nervous that you won't get around, or that you're just uncomfortable with the water pushing that hard against you and you just want to get through that uncomfortable part really quick. There's a couple reasons people do that, but you really don't need to do this much flipping right at the bottom of the wake. If you stay more upright, the wake will do a lot more of the work. You'll go up higher and you won't over rotate like you did here. So let's just take a peek at this and kind of let it play through. And you can see there you kind of looped out over the tail pretty hard. So let's try and watch how quickly you're starting to flip here, and right as soon as the tail leaves the wake you're already at a quarter of your flip. So I want to go to this little scroller here that we have in the library. This is on the Hillside Progressive Hillside Backroll library page if you wanted to go back and kind of scroll through it. But here, this is a regular stance Hillside Backroll, and in this scroller bar we can kind of watch how Kyle initiates his pop, and we can scroll through it and kind of pinpoint some body position things here. So you'll notice as he rides through the wake, his board's about halfway through the wake here, and you'll notice he's just barely tilted a little bit over the tail. He's not, straight upright over his board, but he's not way out here like you were. So let's keep that in mind, and really it's kind of a mental thing more than it is just a body position thing. Here it feels right at the wake you have a lot of pressure against the bottom of the board, and you have to really resist that by leaning against the rope and forcing yourself to stay upright, because this wake is going to do a lot of the flipping for you. It's going to push the board out behind you and to the side. A lot of that stuff's going to happen naturally, and it looks like you're trying to force it a little bit. So that's the first thing, just stand a little bit more upright through the wake, and you'll get a cleaner, more upright pop that goes higher, and then when you finish the trick you'll be able to stand upright a little bit better. So that's the first thing. The second thing, we can have you actually watch this video. It's Hillside Backroll analyzing the clip. You may have already browsed through here, but I just want you to watch how mellow Kyle initiates his approach. So before we watch Kyle, let's go back to yours and see how your approach looked. So you edged out pretty hard a couple times, and then you cranked in. I don't know if you noticed that right away, but watch the rope. Watch the rope get slack and then tug on you again. So right there. I don't know if you caught that. I'm going to let you watch that one more time. So you edge, and then quick, and then you'll see the rope kind of wobble right here. And let's see if we can pause it at that point, just so you can get a clear picture of it. Okay, so you saw the rope kind of wobble back and forth. Now at this point you're starting to really crank back in. A lot of that has to do with how you edged out. You edged out pretty far a couple of different times. You want one solid smooth edge out. Don't edge out multiple times. You can actually search that video as well in the video section of Hillside Jumps, the perfect setup. And that perfect setup video talks a little bit about one smooth edge out. But for this purpose, just keep it one hard smooth edge out. Don't double or triple edge. And then once you start edging back in, it's really a mellow, cruising kind of coast that you come back in, and you don't crank on your heels like this, because look how hard you're edging here, and then watch what happens to your board as we continue. So you've flattened off a little bit. Whether or not you realize it, you've kind of flattened off of your edge. You can see less and less of the bottom of the board. And then because you're able to kind of rebury your edge here pretty good, although you go really fast, you still get a decent amount of pop for what you're doing here. But the biggest thing is when you edge back in, that crank shouldn't happen. You shouldn't feel like you're cranking in. And then you have to kind of recover here and then reset. So let's look at Kyle's and we'll compare the differences. So watch how mellow and smooth Kyle just cruises in. Nice comfortable position, and he doesn't start edging until here, right at the bottom of the wake. So it's right before that spray line where the boat spray sort of makes some whitewash on top of the water right here. So this section here, you'll notice kind of that white foamy white water right before the wake, the part that's a little bit disturbed by the boat. That is your edging zone, and Kyle gets into that in this video pretty well. But you'll also notice, look how short of an approach he took. He didn't edge out crazy wide either. You can get away with that. You don't have to feel like you're trying to force this big, huge pop and speed in all together at once. You could even start right here and then edge in and just edge really hard in this little whitewash area. So that was kind of the edging zone I was talking about, is where this white kind of foamy water lays down right in front of the wake. That is the line where you know, okay, now I gotta really start getting on my edge. So your edge right through here can be a lot more mellow, and then right here is where it should start getting harder, which is kind of opposite for you. That's why the wake kind of flings you around really quickly. But you're on the right track. Your body position is really good in the air, and everything is really good. I mean, you sent the board around in a perfect back roll, and it just gets kind of wonky at the end because of the problems at the start. But that's about it. I mean, go through some of these and pay attention to just how mellow it is at the beginning, and then don't rush it. You got to be really patient through the wake and just stand tall. The rest of the flip should work itself out based on what I've seen. You won't over rotate, and it should put you back upright nice like this. So those two things, shorter approach and don't rush the flip at the beginning, and you should be good to go, man. You're looking great for this. And if you have any questions after watching this video, you can go down here in the comment section below and ask us a question, or if you've corrected a few things and you're still struggling on the back roll, then upload another video and we can diagnose those things. Alright, thanks again.